We are here at the Cotton Factory. More specifically, we're here at Goat Vintage at the Cotton Factory. And you can tell I'm already getting my style on because vintage is the style. It is on trend. And we are here with Sumit and Chloe. And we're here at Goat Vintage. And first of all, tell us a little bit about Goat Vintage in general.
Yeah, well, GOAT stands for greatest of all time because we believe vintage is the GOAT, right? Clothing made 20 plus years ago was just made better. It's made for fashion and utility. And that's why the quality of vintage is what we use for our rework line, which is our upcycling. We take old clothes and make them into new clothes. So we were founded by Sumit in 2016. We are a woman-led, BIPOC-owned, slow fashion company. Yeah, so like I said, we take destined for landfill clothing, and we make them into new things. So
we got a lot of stuff going on, and we're going to talk about the rework line because I'm rocking a rework sweater here. But what about vintage right now is I mean, you started this in 2016, so you're clearly ahead of the trend. Seems like everybody now is rocking the vintage look.
Yeah. Like we said, the bigger graphics, the better quality, things get worn and then tossed out, but vintage clothing, you know, it just feels better, and it lasts longer. It's already lasted 20 years, it's gonna last another 20 things. So that's basically our building blocks for our brand. So we like to explain it, we use the 5 R's of sustainable fashion. So 1, we reclaim destined for landfill clothing. We repair if needed to then resell, which is our straight vintage line. Anything that's beyond repair, ripped, stained, a tie-dye project gone wrong, you know, we're here for it, we love it. That is where we harvest the fabric into our rework line and we refashion them into new products. And we're actually a zero waste design studio.
Wow.
Yeah, so every single scrap of fabric goes into like our hang tags or our stuffings into our pillows.
Yeah, okay, so you got pillows here, you got outerwear, you got it, like you really do have like everything you need that's vintage, right? We're talking denim, outerwear, t-shirts, sweatshirts, because like you said, we're working some of the rework lines. I'm gonna try a couple things on because I saw some of that vintage stuff, like that sports stuff. That's really in right now. The amount of throwback, the Chiefs, you got some, you got it up on the wall here. So we're continuing here at Goat Vintage. We're gonna learn a little bit more about where your clothes are coming from, where they're going, and a lot more about this rework line because I'm finding it really interesting. Which I'm rocking here, this rework sweater, really super comfortable. I might walk out with this, but we are continuing here at Goat Vintage all morning here on CHCH Morning Live. All right, Luke's doing the fit check here. Tell me how I look as we are continuing here at Goat Vintage. We're at the Cotton Factory. They are online at
goatvintage.com.
And we're here with the founder, owner, Sumit. What is upcycling? What are we doing here?
Yeah, so upcycling is basically taking things that have minor defects to them, deconstructing them, and making brand new clothing out of it. So why we do that is because we think that there's already so much clothing that exists in the world. Like literally, if I were to press a button right now and no one was allowed to produce any more new clothing, we would have enough for the next 6 generations of the human population.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's really, really intense.
So, I mean, because this is all the, you know, the water it takes to grow the cotton, you know, the production of making polyester, like all the different materials that are taking. You're saying there's enough for 6 generations.
That's right, yeah. So we don't need to use like raw materials to like make the fabrics. So we take things that are already existing, like used clothing and like, you know, upholstery shops that have a whole bunch of fabric that's left over. Like we'd rather use that than using like brand new cotton or like, you know, and blends as well.
So something like, this is not fast fashion, clearly.
No.
What is something like fast fashion? Because we do hear that term quite a bit these days.
Yeah, so fast fashion basically is talking about the amount of products that a retailer is releasing on any given month, week. And so we're talking about retailers like Shein that are releasing 20,000 products, you know, in a given month. Like that's crazy. And the prices that they're also putting out there for like $5, $10. When you see prices like that, you should be alarmed and know that there's key players in that supply chain that have basically been, you know, taken advantage of. Like there's no other way to put it.
And it's not like things that were made long ago have a higher quality. Like that's not just something that people like say. Like there's a truth to that because they took the time to make the quality so that it would last, and that's what we're doing here. We're making it last even longer.
Yeah, like when we take apart like damaged Levi's jeans, for example, and we make like new styles out of it, it's really difficult to like cut through the denim. Whereas if you pick up a pair of like, you know, other fast fashion retailer jeans, we can just like go through them like anything.
How did you get, you said you've been doing this since 2016, how did you get involved? What was it about it that drew you to it?
Yeah, so I worked an entirely different career in supply chain consulting, and I worked with large retailers and industrial product companies on their sustainability strategies, and I just kind of got disgruntled at a certain point because the impact just, I wasn't seeing it there.
Yeah.
So I thought, okay, let me go out on my own and just try to make that, make that for myself.
Yeah.
So I'm a mom too, so it's also part of like making a living while just being respectful to our kids' future, you know? That's also really important to me.
Yeah.
But basically I saw a lot of clothing, like quality clothing, heritage textiles that were going into landfills from my suppliers. And I went up to them and said, hey, I want to buy this from you. And they said, are you crazy? Like, this, why would you want to buy this? We're paying this to send this to landfill.
Yeah.
So I said, well, this is a win-win for us because I think I can actually make something valuable out of this that people will want to wear.
Wow.
So it's not just about upcycling, it's about making it fashion and that you can still express yourself and not be held back with this.
I love that. I really do. And, it's all about sustainability. It's all about, making products that people are going to want to wear. And like I said earlier, you really got ahead of the trend to me because, this vintage look is all over. And just like going through, I've been like pulling things, being like, I'm coming back to make sure. I'm checking online, which is what we can do. Goatvintage.com is the website to check you out.
Yep.
But we are coming back here because we're continuing all morning. We're at Goat Vintage at the Cotton Factory as we continue on CHCH Morning Live. All right, we are back here at Goat Vintage as we've been all morning, and we're back here with Chloe. And Chloe, there's a lot of work that goes into making something old and new again, is there not?
Oh my gosh, let's start from the beginning.
Okay.
So right away we have to wash it, stain remove it, depell it, which means all the little bumps or anything. If it's on a sweatshirt, you gotta shave that all off just to make it look new again. So I have an example of something that we can make. It's like a simple crop here, the windbreaker.
Yeah.
So we take a windbreaker and we crop it like this, and you think it's gonna be super easy, but actually first we have to remove the zipper, we gotta remove the elastic, then we gotta crop it, we gotta crop the zipper, we have to make the zipper the right height to this in, so everything right back on, and this is something simple as that.
Yeah.
Versus something that you're wearing right now,
Yes.
right? We have this sweatshirt.
I know it's a Chiefs. People online are mad at me already. Aren't you a Bills fan?
That's okay,
yes, I am.
You're being it. But
Thank you.
This graphic shirt had some stains or rips on the sleeves, so we had to deconstruct that, take that apart. We had to do some stain removal, remove the arms and put it back on. Something like my shirt too, we have to do a little bit more. So a lot more things gets involved before we can even just put the pattern on.
And that's what we got Denise here for.
And that's what we got Denise, our beautiful Denise, and our head of sewing production here.
Hey, Denise, what are we talking about? She's got everything that she needs over here, eh, to make sure everything is perfect. The one thing I did want to talk to you about is just, there's vintage from here, but vintage from like a Value Village or a thrift shop or something like that. It's all, you love all that stuff, don't you?
We love it all. It's all sustainable fashion, anything that's secondhand. The best way is the main thing is to make something last longer, make the life last longer, and that's what we're doing here. We're giving clothes a second life, and that's what, you find something, if you thrift something in Value Village, or that's what we want. Please do it, and that's what we're here for.
And speaking of that, we're gonna come back with some after this because you can do this stuff at home. You don't need, we obviously want to support you guys. You guys got a great ton of products, but we can make sustainable clothing at home, and we can make choices at home to make sustainable clothing choices, right? Okay, we're going to talk about that as we continue here at Goat Vintage. Denise is going to show me some tips here. Maybe, just show me some tips here. But we're continuing all morning here on CHCH Morning Live. And we are back at Goat Vintage. They're located inside the Cotton Factory here in Hamilton, but they're online, goatvintage.com. We're back with Samit and Chloe, owner, CFO of the company here. And really, we've been here all morning, and we're talking about, your business, but there are things people can do at home with their clothes to help be more sustainable, better for the environment, all that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Like just basically re-wearing your clothes and, not overbuying. So overproduction, overconsumption is a massive problem, right? So just really being careful of what you buy, and then also doing clothing swaps when you're really done with something, saying, hey, have the whole family over, friends or girls night out or whatever. Everyone brings a bag of clothes, and you can do a whole bunch of swaps and things like that. So it's just really consciously consuming apparel, because we've sort of lost the view of where is our clothing coming from? We don't always know where our food comes from. We also don't know where our clothing comes from. So we really want to encourage people to think about that.
And in terms of retailers as well, I mean, you guys are available. You can get it in store. You can get your stuff in stores. But for other retailers who may not be as sustainable, is there a way to send a message to those kind of businesses to let them know that what they're doing is not really right, not sustainable?
We don't quite say it like that.
Okay,
but,
sure. What do you want to hint at, though?
You're not coming to the pitch with us. I'm just like, so if you're an apparel manufacturer, basically in Canada, like we want to hear from you because we know there's so much leftover stock and offcuts and things that are going straight into landfill. We can transform that into products that you can get back onto the sales floor, and that's what we're doing with a lot of like production manufacturers right now in Canada.
Yep.
And then as well, like if you're a retail buyer watching this, thinking, hey, like maybe I can actually bring in some sustainable upcycle styles into my menswear, women's wear, homeswear, or kids assortments.
Yeah.
We'd love to talk about that. And right now we are available in Winners, Marshalls, and we are in PacSun in the States as well. And we're coming to another Canadian retailer in the fall.
Ooh,
so we're on
we'll
the
have to be
move
back
and
for
we're
that.
getting out there for sure. So you'll hear from us.
Yeah. And we're talking we're talking about little sustainable things.
Yeah.
Like, every piece of the fabric that comes through this door is going to be used for something. So what do we got here?
So basically, these are our little bowl fillers. So when we say like everything is used, everything is used, right? So every little piece that comes to the studio, we deconstruct it, and everything has a use. So it's zero waste design from the very beginning, and then zero waste production. And we don't produce 10,000 of one item. We're not a fast fashion retailer, so we hit some limits, and we're okay with that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I have definitely found some pieces that I'm going to be back for that I've got my eye on. Chloe, Samit, thank you guys so much for having us. We've had a lot of fun. So where should people go? You guys are online, goatvintage.com. We're on social media. Where
Follow
can we find
us on Instagram as well on Goat Vintage. And then, of course, our website, goatvintage.com.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for having us. We've had a great time here. Goat Vintage. It's the fashion that everybody is wearing right now, but it's also great for the environment. So thank you guys so much. We've been having such a great time. Goat Vintage, goatvintage.com. We've been having a great time here at CHCH Morning Live.